Hello and welcome. This is episode 38 of Studio Synergy. And as you can tell, it's just me. Um, yes, we know all about that. All right, stop talking me. Um, all right. So, what you should be seeing. Yes. Okay. So, yeah, schedules are complicated, and had a few people who wanted to join aren't able to make it this morning. But I'm going to go ahead anyway, and might have one or two pop in a little bit. We'll see. But first, I wanted to mention, if you are a patron of mine, please become one. Um, I'm essentially wanting to make a bunch of my own comics, and Patreon helps me with that. I have 13 patrons currently. So for my books, Blood Rights, Neon Eden Worlds, Retro, and um, I'll be posting a lot more coming up. Um, so you can check all that out. And let's see, where are we? So here's me. Hey! Um, so let's see. Okay. I've got a lot to accomplish over the next couple of months, and I've sort of been working on a schedule and going to start implementing it. I used to have a clipboard, not sure off to, but let me grab something, so I could work out some things while I'm talking to you. If you don't already know, Studio Synergy is my way of gathering fellow artists, and we can talk about art and the business of art. Um, well, even like I am thus far, that is still the plan. A couple things I'll mention is episode 1 of Studio Synergy was actually 4 years ago. Now let me go check my, what do we got going on? Oh, okay, that's fine. All right. I can't be talking while doing a show. Okay. All right. Let's see what I got going on. All right. I'm sorry. I'm checking things. All right. Distractions away. Here we are. Yes. So yeah, I started Synergy 4 years ago and been doing it sporadically here and there. I'm trying to be a lot more consistent now. Um, and my cats are fighting in the hallway. Um, so just trying to keep to a schedule, regardless if we have fellow writers, artists, creators show up or not. So I'm deciding to go to solo until one or two others arrive. Today's not going to be a long show. I got lots on my plate, house stuff and family stuff and whatnot. Um, so the the theme topic is holiday season for a freelancer, um, which I'll be getting to in a little bit. Um, I just wanted to mention a couple of things. So yes, started Synergy 4 years ago this month. I think it was November 6th. I posted it somewhere recently. Um, but going back to 2006, I was part of a radio show called Comic Book Novice. And this is stuff I mentioned recently, but I just wanted to go over it. I was back in 2006 in Long Island, in New York City. Well, in New York, in Long Island, um, a small radio station where we bought a spot and had our evening, I think it was Thursday night's show, and I was a part of it. We had three or four other people, depending on what night it was. And I was always the sort of comic information about what was going on in the industry, books coming out, artists signing on to contracts and working on new books, all that kind of fun stuff. As well as my experiences working in comics and thoughts to other people maybe trying to start working in comics and so forth. Back in 2010, I started a podcast called Independent Road. There were a number of podcasts I followed. Paul Kijiji had one. Jersey Droz and Mark Rudolph did a art and story podcast. Kevin and Kimball did uh, something party. I forget. Oh, it's been so long. 6 years ago. Anyway, there was a whole podcast community. I started my Independent Road podcast to sort of join the fray. I had lots of pleasure doing that. Part of it was my experiences, what I was going through on a weekly basis or a monthly basis or however I was turning them out. I did 100 episodes. I haven't published the 100th one, but I will, and I might even get back to doing Independent Road as well as posting it up onto my YouTube. I now have Independent Crossroads on my YouTube channel where I sort of do a one-on-one conversation with other artists, writers, and whatnot. I've had 6 episodes so far, one recently with Gaz Kritzky, and that was a lot of fun. I have at least another one planned coming up the end of the year. And of course, Synergy, which I'm doing twice weekly, and things will evolve and change, but always the purpose to all this is to really put out into the world, like, just helping to spread the word, independent creators, artists, writers, animators, what have you. And I had a slew of people on my Independent Road podcast. And I'm kind of thinking, if I pull out just these sort of interview parts, I might be posting that in video form on my YouTube. A lot of it's dated, but it might be interesting. A number of those are really good interviews, and I want to sort of get it out there to people who don't follow just audio podcasts. Although the video version, might not have much in the sense of visuals, but anyway, that's a lot of things in the works. Currently, it's been a crazy past week, especially reevaluating what I'm doing going forward, because it's taken a big turn. I'm not currently inking anything for anybody, other than maybe I got a couple of pinups to do. So it sort of ties into holiday season for a freelancer. I have to reevaluate where my income is going to be coming from. And besides my inking gigs, the next thing that brings me the most money is commissions. And I've been working on One Heart. Videos will start up again tomorrow on Monday. And I'll be proceeding with those. I'll be working on 31 Ghosts. Those two are definite. I have a lot of other stuff going on, but I'll just squeeze it in between those two things that will take priority. As well as I just have a general commission list, and I'll be going through that. So yeah, we got Halloween behind us, but we got Thanksgiving coming up. What is Thanksgiving on the 28th? My calendar doesn't say it. Or that weekend, I forget. But right now, that's roughly 2 weeks away, regardless of what it is. Right now, because we've had family situations here, not exactly sure how that's going to pan out. But me and Lisa, at the very least, will be spending time with members of her family, and I'll probably be touching base as per usual with my family. And it doesn't know, I have 3 older brothers. Both my parents have passed away, but keep in touch with my family, my brothers. And yeah, considering I'm not rich right now, I doubt I'll be flying out to see them, but at least be able to Skype with them and catch up. And Christmas, don't even remember what we did last year. Let's see. Let's boot up Christmas. So Christmas is actually going to be on a Sunday. It has no effect what day it is as far as being our freelancer. But I'm going to be a good one. It's I believe last year. It's so long ago. we've had one. We had a pretty good Christmas last year. It just wasn't. I believe it wasn't on Christmas because I was working at a restaurant, Mexican restaurant, as a dishwasher, making some extra. And honestly, the next week or two will dictate whether I maybe take on some odd job. And I've I hear my cats in the hallway. Depending on how things go over the next couple of weeks, I'll make a decision whether I need to or not. Right now, things aren't financially hot. Since 2 comic books I thought I was on and inking turned out to be not the case. So I'm really looking for new ones, but yeah, I'm gonna double my efforts on projects I got going on. So here we have Eric. Hey, Eric.
Dude, what the hell wrong with you having a stream this early in the morning?
Ah.
Man, I wasn't even alive when you first messaged me, man. I look at my phone. I wake up, look at my phone. It's like, oh, I got a message. It's like 7 something in the morning. I'm like, bitch, I wasn't even alive.
Well, I actually did it this early so I can get a few other people in, which it turns out they can't come in. So it is what it is. I decided just to go with my plan to do it at this time and come what may.
Come what may. Yeah, I'm usually not even awake until like 9 or 10 if I'm lucky. Today it was a lot later because I didn't sleep very well.
For any reason in particular, or just?
Nah, I haven't been sleeping well at all lately.
That's always a drag.
Yep.
I mean, that's sort of like we made major changes to our home and still gotta fix a couple of things before I'm like back to normal sleep. So Lisa actually put all the cats with her in the bedroom, and I just slept on the couch because I've been sleeping horribly. So we figured keep all the cats away from me because they tend to, like, if they're around, yeah, they're a problem.
Yeah, well, that's how cats do.
Yeah, and
they don't care about your sleep. They're like, I want affection. I want it right now. God damn it!
They wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and jump off the walls.
Yeah, that's how cats do.
Yeah. But we're looking into options and possibilities to fix our situation. Actually, one of the things is, we might be able to get a larger. We're in a 2-bedroom, and we might be able to get a 3-bedroom. And if we're able to do that, it will definitely help with the sort of cat situation. If we can leave them amongst themselves, at least for evenings or something. We'll see. I don't know. We're talking about it. It's a process.
Yeah, it's always a bit of a process. I'm currently going through thoughts of moving myself, but we'll see how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I've been living in this house all my life, so
yeah.
I've moved before.
That's the big step, then. And I know, like, I was 22 when I left. Damn, I'm pretty old, leaving this late in life. I mean,
I'm going on 26, and I've been living here. So,
well, it's different for everybody. I mean, it's like at points after I left, it was like, gee, I could have stayed longer.
yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna regret it as soon as I do it.
Yeah, it's I kind of just did it when opportunity arose, and had a lot of bumpy years. The first thing I did was move in with a roommate, and that turned into disaster.
I think most people do the whole roommate thing first, just because it's financially a little easier.
Yeah, it's definitely easier. Be with.
Well, that's what I'm going to end up doing. It's a friend of mine. We've been close friends for fucking ages, so we think we'll be all right. At least we hope.
The best thing is like have money in the bank. Is my advice.
That's pretty much the only money I'll be able to muster up at the moment. So I'm gonna have to make do with whatever I can get.
Well, is that like something maybe sooner than later?
Like the earliest it's like at least a couple months away.
Right.
It's not any time super
this
soon.
Year.
Yeah. So shouldn't be a problem. But that's still something I gotta work towards because I don't make a lot of money right now, so I'm gonna get that kind of income working to make it work.
Well, you got Patreon right now, right?
That I just kind of opened, and so it's barren at the moment.
It's in the early stages.
Yeah. 'Cause I haven't been able to really promote it all that much because I didn't really do a lot of videos for a while, and then I had to change it because I wanted to alter what the the reward system was just to make it a little easier.
Oh gee, I'll be right back. Cats are fighting. Hold on.
The cats are having a fit, man. Oh man, I remember when I had a cat. It was awesome. I miss my cat. But yeah, for anyone out there, since I'm on my own at the moment, or anyone out there like trying to set up stuff like Patreon and all, don't try to get overzealous with your rewards right away. Especially unless you have a good fan base already set up that will kind of jump over there, and the kind of stuff they'll be expecting, then don't get too overzealous.
I'm back. Oh man, they're just crazy and fighting each other. I don't even know why. Anyway, Lisa's taking care of it.
Not fucking back. I was just talking to your audience. Trying to keep some type of noise going.
Yes.
I was basically just talking about Patreon a little bit.
You could share it, like screen share it if you want.
Yeah, I mean it's. Let me see if I can get it open. I said open. Hit the button. That button.
Button.
I should just be able to click on my face. But yeah, like right now I have it up, but I only have like one reward, and it's it's a $5 one.
Right.
So, because I wanted to pick something that would be not too high a price. I didn't want there to be like a bunch of fucking options when I really don't have a lot of things to do with it. Like, there's really not much I can do at the moment. So until I get a bigger kind of following on it to where I'm like, okay, now I'm going to start adding some more. And that's what I was even saying while you walked away is like, I didn't want to get overzealous, and because originally I had a bunch more there, but then I realized that they were kind of pointless because I don't have a huge following yet. You know, I really don't have anything out there other than my YouTube stuff, so I can't really try to promote things that just don't exist yet. So the $5 reward is very simple. It's just as long as you're in that tier, $5 or more, and it's a reoccurring every month thing, you get people will get a free digital sketch commission, like just a very simple, like the ones I was doing for the hundreds, my second hundreds, those little small, like 8.5 by 5.5 sketches.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Something that wouldn't take me too long to draw, but I think would still be nice incentive for people to go to go up to the $5 mark. And I don't think $5 is really asking that much from people. So
no, the thing is, like, you know, SU can pledge at any amount, really. Like, even if you don't have a tier at $1,000, you know, if some crazy person came by.
Yeah. But like, and the other thing I've kind of set up was like the goals for the moment, and just trying to figure out better goals that'll work. Just because for me and goals, it's one of those scenarios where I'm like, okay, I want to be able to make enough money through it that I can afford things like, you know, living outside of here, renting an area, paying the bills. But at the same time, I want the money from there to go back more towards what I'm doing. You know, I want it to go back into the videos. So I'll use the video money and the Skillshare money more for the bills. I'll use a little bit of the Patreon money for, you know, obviously bills and stuff when I need to. But I'd like that to go back into getting products that I can showcase and review. And so that, to me, and that makes more sense and would be fair, because that's why people would be over on my Patreon. They, you know, they like my videos, they like my product reviews.
Right. So, well, you have a Tumblr following. Like, how big is that?
I don't know. I mean, Tumblr is a bit of a tricky thing. I got 198 followers, but
okay,
that's not huge.
It's better than me, but yeah, I mean, Tumblr is tricky.
And every now and then you get those blogs that follow you that you're just like, what? Like, they're clearly just trying to, like, they're following you so that you notice them and click on them and like follow them maybe. But yeah, they're kind of creepy ones.
I've gotten a lot more, like, on YouTube. I've gotten a lot more, oh, your video is very cool, knowing they full well haven't checked it out. You know, why don't you check out my channel? Because, you know, I do something completely that you don't follow. You know, it's like...
Yeah, you get crap like that all the time.
Yeah.
I even get, like, I've been, like, I got a couple emails not too long ago. I got more people, like, wanting me to do product review kind of things. One of them was actually a legitimate thing. Like, it was a person, or I say legitimate because it actually had something to do with my channel. Apparently there was a product for, like, Android, Windows, and iPads and stuff. It's their own pen that they make, their own stylus pen.
Cool.
I'm like, okay, that's cool. You know, that's something I'd be interested in when I get a tablet, when I get an Android tablet. And I even mentioned that to him. I was like, I would love to try it out, but I currently don't have any Android or Windows tablets. And I even kind of poked at him, was like, if you happen to know any companies that sell them or that have their own, or if you guys have like a parent company that make your own, let me know. Maybe we can work out a deal. But, you know, I don't have one right now. But then this other one was like, they were showing me their Amazon stores of like all the products that their store sells. I'm like, all right, let me see what they got. And it was like regular, there was a lot of like backpacks and weird shit like that had nothing to do with music or art.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, I even said to men, is like, I appreciate the enthusiasm and I appreciate the interest, but these are the kind of products I review. If you guys ever get these kind of products on your store, then yes, let me know and we can talk about it. But until then, you have nothing that I can showcase. And even this
Yeah.
other website, I'm actually let me actually find their name because you might have heard of them. I don't know. Brandassador. Like, do you know who that is?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they're called Brandassador at One Piece, and apparently they're. I don't really understand what they're like. Apparently they're a website that I guess they were originally mostly Instagram based, and you promote products. Like you post kind of like ad things of products, like specific products that you take. They call them missions, which I'm guessing is just, you know, they're offers that are out there. You click on it and you accept that offer to do it. And some of the rewards can be like gift cards, cash, or free products and stuff like that.
Right.
And the thing is, you can't even really check out their site without, you know, being a member. Like if you look at their site, it's just really nothing there. It just kind of gives you an overview of what they are. So I'm just like, okay. Like, I even said to you, I'm like, okay, for starters, how's your system work and all that? Secondly, what kind of products are offered on your site? Because if it has nothing to do with what my channel is about, I'm not promoting anything, because I will only promote things that have to do with what I do. I'm a musician and I'm an artist. So everything I do on my channel relates to those two things. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah. Like, come on, guys. Like, if you see that I have a YouTube channel where I review products, at least take a couple minutes to see what I'm reviewing. Like, you don't even have to watch the videos in whole. Just look at the titles and look at what the products are that I'm reviewing, and you can understand. It's like, oh, this guy reviews art supplies. You know, I'm an art supply dealer, so I should talk to him. Not, I make cooking supplies. I should talk to this guy who does reviews of art supplies and music tools. Like, come on, man. Common sense. Seems to be lacking in the world today. And hi, Greg.
Excuse me. Hey.
Hey.
Hey, how are you doing?
All right.
Tired.
Yeah, sure. I don't know why, but for some reason my camera doesn't want to activate. That's interesting.
I don't even have a camera, so.
Well, it's on my laptop, so I don't have to worry about it. But...
Yeah, if you, in case you wanted to look at it, that's my Patreon at the moment. I have it set up.
Awesome.
I need
to
new thing? Goals a little bit.
Did you just start doing that, or?
I've had this thing for a while. Like, I had it I created it just so I could preserve my name and stuff like that. And I had it set up kind of once before, but I didn't really promote it because it was just like a temporary setup. So I've just recently overhauled a little bit of I changed all the rewards systems. So there's only one. I need to go back and change the goals. I updated the video, like the introduction video for when new people come on. I need to actually remember to post to it so that there's content. Like that big picture of all the Dragon Ball characters I drew during my second hundreds. I posted it there.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. That took a little while to put that together. I didn't realize how many I had, so I literally was sitting there going, God damn, I have a lot of these. I need to, and I tried to order them, like each row makes sense. You know, the first row has the 3 androids, but then Bulma, because she does have, interactions with them, especially 16. I had the Ginyu Force all in one row, all the Saiyans on one row, and then I had side and supporting characters after that, and I'm like, it started to get a little crazier because then I started having common things between the characters, so I couldn't put them all in one row as common characters.
Yeah, I'm showing it.
So the last 3 rows are literally I just selected them and put them there.
I like it.
Yeah.
So today's topic is So no.
It's what is it specifically? It's holiday season for a freelancer, and I was
Oh, okay.
talking a little bit about that. You know, sort of things have changed for me. It's like
Hmm.
what was my big two money makers have gone on to other things, and
Those whores.
yeah, things happen. Creative differences, whatever. Um, but so now, like, what I'm going to focus on, especially through the holiday seasons, we'll see if it makes me enough. If not, then I may just get a day gig for end of November, beginning of most of December, probably. But that's if the next week or two doesn't pan out in a good way. We'll see. Because the holidays can be a real money sucker.
Yeah. Well,
And,
maybe for people who actually have people to buy stuff for.
Well, I haven't really been a big buyer of gifts for people. You
Right.
do what you can.
Yeah, I mean that's always that's always a trouble, especially if being an artist is also being on the poverty line, or at least being on the lower income threshold, and you have to have priorities with bills and all those things. And for me, I'm fully disabled, so I do have certain costs in my life, that are not an issue because of that. So thankfully, I have that kind of security, but it's a poverty line or lowest income, line kind of security, right? But then at these times of the year, or people like my girlfriend's kids, my stepkids' birthdays, things like that, then it definitely that's where it starts to hurt, because then you got to scramble. So fortunately, though, occasionally you sell some. I sell some art or something, and I'm able to carry through. Also, it is the season, so so usually at some point between now and the second or third week of December, somebody says, "Hey, I heard you do X, Y, Z. Would you do this?" Because my girlfriend, my husband, whatever, my kids, blah blah, and then that money engages quickly, and then I can roll it over into those things. So usually I'm okay, but yeah, I mean sometimes it can be a real bear. That's why actually summer conventions and into the fall are the resource. Last 2 years have been the resource for being able to buy some Christmas presents, for instance, bringing up that subject. So I just set aside some of that money if I sell sketches or whatever, and I have that to dip in. Conventions actually are probably the number one growth area for me. Direct in front of a person, impulse buy kind of stuff.
If you had a rough estimate, like how many conventions have you done in the last year?
It's really easy to estimate because I don't have the physical, ability to just hammer on my body to do that stuff. It's like about 5, a bunch of teeny tiny regional shows. So in my case, Vermont, so New England, and that means basically like upstate New York, very close to Vermont, and then a few in the state. So yeah, I'd like it to be more like 10, but humping the table cost is always an issue. So that's why my friend and I, Mike Wagner, who I think he's in Vermont Comic Creators Group, and he moved from Texas to Vermont. We do shows together, and like what we found was actually the extremely so-called dinky shows, like the really, really teeny-weeny shows. So the table costs are always like $20 to $50, right? But I sell the same amount sometimes that I might even sell at a $175 or $100 table show. So, the cost actually is easy to pick up and put more money in the pocket. So I would recommend to people that, don't overlook small regional shows, especially in towns that are not known to have a lot of shows or have new shows, because the excitement is bigger and sometimes they spend more as a result.
Yeah, I mean, I always hear people that go all out and do big shows have no return because there's too much going on in a big show, and if you don't really have a huge following, you're gonna get lost.
Yeah, it could be rough like that, I think, and I think
and
that's
the costs
why
are like 10 times,
Yeah. So
table for hotel for plane to get out to them.
Yeah. Now, I mean, obviously, there are people who are in a much higher stratification than we are in, and they have a big enough following where it can, it makes or breaks them not to do the shows, right? But like if you're in the sort of art comic, indie comic crowd, then you have to make some very critical decisions about where you put your money into shows, and actually for what reason. That's the other thing. A show is not a loss at even $175 a table if you have promoted the hell out of, and you've done a lot of due diligence with sort of electronic transfer of your book at your table, and you have freebies, and it it's essentially $175 plus travel expenses to do a marketing blitz in a place that you're not familiar with. That's well spent money, right? Because that ultimately, nets other value. But if you're going to just sell your books and sell art, it could be a disaster. So it's also kind of taking into account your end goal for that show, and it's not just so that you can just psychologically justify it, but rather to actually have provable a provable outcome, and something that you can say, did we meet the goal, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it strictly from business, if you were to open up a corner store, small grocery, what have you store,
bookstore or whatever,
you're going to take a loss for the first 3 years, 5 years.
Easy.
So,
even comic book store, really.
Yeah. So, we're freelancers. We're a business unto ourselves, and it's like you have to calculate everything into the mix. It's not like, am I making $500 in this convention, then it's not worth my time. No, it's like the long-term goals of what you're trying to do. In.
Yeah. So that's the thing. But, obviously, we can't live on projected marketing strategies, right? So there's a balance. So that's why I can't really say, because it's not like I've done 10 shows a year, including larger regional or larger shows and little shows, and I have this big market analysis out of it. But I would say, just anecdotally, that it's the tiny shows that have made Mike and I decent bread, because and I think most likely it's because of those factors I described. So sometimes it's actually worth it to I don't know how it is you're in North Carolina, right?
Me?
Yeah. Or no?
Where are you? I'm in Kentucky.
Kentucky. Okay, sorry. And Eric, where are you? Eric?
Oh, we lost him.
I don't remember where he's from, but there he goes.
That was my bad.
That's okay.
I clicked to unmute myself and accidentally hit a thing. But yeah, I'm from Delaware.
Delaware. Yeah, so I would bet that both of you guys have at least one, even if it's just a yearly show. I mean, Delaware probably has more than once a year, or the general region probably has more than one show. And I think that becoming sort of a a high-profile person and almost like have some mastery in a really so-called really small show that is your home grounds, even if you want a big perimeter on what you consider to be home grounds, has tremendous amount of fan strength, but also I think ultimately can lead to financial strength and build there. If you're talking about like the classic sketches and selling your books and blah, 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 there's a guy named Rusty Gilligan. Do you know him?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rusty's a really great guy. And what I've noticed about him is that, you know, like whether or not he's contemporary in doing his Marvel and DC stuff or other company stuff, and he also obviously has worked in movies and other things. But, like, I don't know whether people necessarily know him for that stuff, but it seems like wherever he goes in the upstate New York, general New York area, and I think maybe he does a little Mass or whatever, New Hampshire or something, but like it's very clear that all these people know Rusty Gilligan, and they buy the sketch cards and they buy the prints and they buy the original drawings and all this kind of stuff, and it's just like they know him, and he gives away a lot of stuff, and he's just very hooked in with his audiences, and the convention guys love him, and he's always, you know, kind of prominent, even though maybe he's not a huge superstar comics guy per se, but he's a huge superstar comics guy with fans on the street, like on the ground, and they love him, and so like, and he does every single show he can do. So I think like it's very interesting to me how he's built this like kind of machine out of convention appearing, clearly, and I think store appearing too. Plus, he does a lot of kid-friendly stuff. That's another mechanic on it. I think if people wanted to engineer money at the holidays, it's very clear that having holiday-related material and kid-friendly related material is probably going to be the financial best bet. So, you know, like for me, my goal is, it's not for this year, although I have some stuff in old files that I could repurpose into cards, I think, greeting cards. But I think for next year, it's definitely going to be to have some sort of vaguely holiday-themed, wintry-themed, maybe Halloween, November, December-themed materials that can flip into gift stuff, so that on an impulse purchase at the right bookstore appearance or something like that, that there's a revenue turnaround, you know. That's my plan. I mean, if I can get something going at there's a local bookstore that can flip an appearance really fast, like not a comic store, it's a regular bookstore, that they sell graphic novels and a tremendous amount of kids stuff. If I could get my shit together, get some prints and some sort of a thing together by then, by the next week or so, probably could sell stuff. So yeah. I think that's part of it too. It's just that simple stuff too, which is like, you know, you got to engineer products that are very, very potently, you know, people zap on for that season, and then turn it over into gifts, you know. So
yeah. You know, I haven't done a lot of conventions. I mean, and you know, it's I don't think I did anything this year. Mm-hmm. Been wanting to, but you know, it's like it's more important for me to have a number of things out, and I'm sort of gearing to next year, and if I could jump on a bunch of the small conventions within my radius, then I'll be doing that. There, your camera's working.
It turned out when you press the button that turns the camera on, it turns the camera on.
Oh, Eric, why didn't you know that?
Because I am currently dealing with something on my own end.
Right, because he's actually working, just like you, Peter. Like, he's actually doing stuff.
Doing stuff.
You know. My day just started, actually. So I have an excuse Sunday.
My day just started, too.
Yeah.
But you're just way more motivated and better, man. I mean, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being truthful, dude.
Motivation, right?
Look, I've seen how many videos are on your YouTube channel. That is nothing.
Look at how long it took me to do that.
Whatever, doesn't
I've been
matter.
going since like 2012.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's the volume speaks words, because in the internet, whoever gets to your channel, right? I mean, think about it. Whoever goes to Eric's channel for the first time, or even like the 10th time, right? It doesn't matter what the date says. It just matters that you have this incredible library of video reviews, right? You're in other words, like YouTube, it's very, one thing I've learned just recently is that unless somebody's been with you since 2012, and then maybe they might gripe and say, "Where's your video, man? Where's your video, man?" But like, wouldn't we all say that like one of the greatest things about this stuff is that the internet is constantly discovering. So therefore, you're the guy who has this like crap load of videos that are really interesting, right? It's like, oh my God, look at all these videos, like. So like that's cool, right? Like the next like 300 people that find you are going to just see this guy who's incredibly prolific. It's only the people who've been with you since 2012 that'll be like maybe looking at their watch or something and like, hey, where's the next video? But essentially, like it's prolific. It's still prolific. It's take it where you can. It's still prolific.
Prolific.
Oh,
yeah,
you people in your false modesty.
It's not even modesty. Like, because I have 215 videos. And that's over the course of since 2012. Mm-hmm. Now, in the early stages of making these videos, I was at least putting them out at a decent frequency, even though they weren't like the greatest videos in the fucking world. And even today, some of these videos have like no views, really. It's taking 12 years for one of these like smaller videos to get 226 views, like since 2012. So now, obviously, and then I have some videos that still get a freaking hell of a lot of videos. Like there's one video I have, which I still need to remake it. It's my how to make a comic book creating a page video.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why, but that one video, even though it's an hour-long video, still gets tons of views. Like it's currently sitting at almost 500,000 views.
But dude, I mean, there's a very specific reason why. It's because people want that information and they need it desperately. And
I was very good at tagging my videos back then.
Well, of course, I mean that's a given, right? But like, because otherwise, but it's true that even without tagging, the search of Google is pretty intensive, and we'll find it. Even now, I mean, it's been chugging on that thing, scanning the audio search, word search in there. So like it's even without tagging, it's still obviously the proof's in the pudding. People need that information, and they need as many versions of this is the thing that's fascinating to me about YouTube, and I'm sure Peter has insight on this too, which is that like no matter how many there are, people want yet another take on the same subject, because people inherently feel, I think, uninformed, and they feel like outsiders, and they feel like they need as many like assists and sort of supports as they can hit, so that they can get. So the thing is, you're telling this really great story, or you're adding to the story of their day, which is like, oh, it's another bit of information because there's another secret, there's another thing. And I think that that's what all of you guys do so well, and that's why I'm going to jump in the fray, because I've been doing it like person to person for years, the kind of thing you did. And so I'm like, wait a minute, like, and Mike, my friend Mike Wagner, same thing. Like he's been doing it for years, and Peter's been, so it's like, of course we should do it, because apparently people have no end of hunger for it, right? So what the hell? Why not give them a little bit of what they want? So.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's like I'm getting into spreadsheets right now. Creating my own and helping with my business and whatnot. And it's not, it's like I don't look up one video tutorial on spreadsheets. I bookmark a bunch of them and go through each of them and learn something more with each that I watch. So, just because you a 10 or 100 or whatever related to a specific topic or thing people are trying to do and figure out, there's always room for more. Preferably, better, well done ones. But even if you just like slap together a, how to make a mini comic, we'll get like 100 views, 200 views in no time at all. And here, let me write that down. I'll do that.
And it's not the great thing, necessarily true, but if the topic is desired, then you can get some decent views. Because like even throughout my reviews, like some of these videos, like my product review of the microphone is sitting at 37 at the moment. Mm-hmm. The Behringer audio interface is like 47, but then the Oogie tablet, the HK 1560, is like almost going on 2,000 right now, and that was posted October 18th. So
because people desperately need options on not buying a Cintiq, because Cintiq is out of the range of most people. So guys like you, that's why I found your videos, by the way. I found your videos through a brutal Google search, not even YouTube search, on alternatives to Cintiq. And when I did that Google search, you were on the top of the fold, top of the line in the YouTube that came up even on the Google search page itself. So it's obviously a hot topic, right? Because people don't have the money, so it's.
I mean, it's always going to be a nice hot topic. It just, in my case, it's a pain in the ass because like I can't afford to buy a bunch of tablets. I was very fortunate that the ones that I reviewed, I was gifted. The Oogie wanted me to test out their products and give my opinion. So I was like, okay, but just expect an honest opinion. That's my one warning to anyone out there who's like wants me to try out your product. You are getting an honest opinion. Don't think giving me the product is going to color my judgment. Yeah, if it sucks, I will say it sucks.
Totally.
Let's do this because I don't want today's show to be too long. We're probably getting close to an hour. I know you guys can probably talk for 3 more hours, but specifically talk ways in which you try to promote your videos, because that's a huge factor. Like, you could have a useless video that nobody wants to watch, but if you put it out there in certain groups or tweet it out at certain times, whatever you do, you put it on Pinterest, you put it on Tumblr, it will get more hits than maybe a lot of other videos, just because you're promoting it better.
Yeah, I mean that's what I use. I don't do it as much for YouTube as much. Like, I'll do the initial sharing on like all of the social media that I use. I barely use Twitter. Twitter's like an in-between, man, because Twitter automatically posts to my fan page. I don't like Twitter. But I use more of the social media where I mean, you probably see me spam every now and then my Skillshare classes.
Right.
Because those ones, I promote Skillshare a little bit more because I don't have to wait until I've made $100 to get paid. I get paid on the 16th every month, no matter what.
What's Skillshare?
Skillshare is a learning platform, similar kind of YouTube, because they do video. It's like video lessons, but they're actual courses. Like, you have multiple videos of a course. You take the course. There's usually a project, like a class project, that the person creating the class wants you to do. There's discussions. Like, it has its own. Like, each class has its own personal forum, basically. So,
yeah, I just found the site too, and there's a teach part, so you can.
Yeah, I'm a teacher on there.
Yeah.
And is it just as simple as any kind of social where you just make an account, start throwing stuff up, or do they curate it, or?
I mean, they have like their kind of their rules and stuff. Like, when you do post them, they will give you a guideline of things that to try and follow, because they want it to be more structured than like a YouTube video. They don't want it to just be, hey, let me teach you how to do something. It's like, no, they want you to legitimately teach someone how to do something.
But they do actually give you the tools to, like, they give you some form of at least templating or something that, like, you can.
They give you a guideline, and they actually give, like, they'll go, like, you can read the guideline, and it'll tell you the different, like, suggested things that you should do.
That's
like,
great.
Keep this in mind. Here's how you want to structure this. I originally got into Skillshare because they do every once in a while. Like it's very random when they decide if they're going to do it or not. But they have these like class like contest kind of things, and the person who gets the most views or the most enrolled students, because students have to enroll in your class. You can either make it a free class or you can make it a premium class. Premium classes, only premium members of the site can join your class. So that's how you make money. The amount of enrollments you get will pretty much give you that's how you get money, is enrollments. And if you can get people to enroll using your special link, you get extra referral money. But yeah, they have contests, which is funny enough. That's how I got my Cintiq, the 13 HD that I sold. I had won that in the very first contest I've ever joined, ever. Like the very first time I've ever actually entered a contest, I won it, and I won a Cintiq.
Wow.
And some money. So,
and money.
Yeah,
wow.
Because it was like they had budgeted a certain amount of money for the gifts. They knew that they were going to get you the Cintiq, but then they also had like they were going to try and get like a Blue Yeti microphone and a bunch of other stuff, and a GoPro. I got the GoPro. So they gave me the money for the camera, which I just pocketed, and then I ended up selling the camera because I didn't really care for the camera. It's good for people who are on the go because it's small, but if you're doing vlogs, it's garbage. And then I just recently sold the Cintiq. So I've made it was all stuff that I just won.
So Skillshare is your, besides like any conventional social that you use, Skillshare is actually a place where making and promoting videos for you is actually a better spend. Yes,
it is. I spend my time promoting those classes because no matter what, I get paid on the 16th every month for both of my classes, no matter what.
And you are allowed or not allowed to repurpose and monetize those videos?
I believe I'm allowed to because I believe, what's his name? Oh God, I have one of his books, Christopher Hart. That man is like the king of repurposing his own videos.
Sure.
Because he makes so many, I hate saying it, but they're kind of useless videos because he rehashes the same, let me show you how to draw this, and it's
well,
like
that's
every freaking time. And I'm like, come on, at least give us something new, which he does every once in a blue moon. But his books help mainly because a lot of his books, he's not the artist. He's just teaching you, and then he has other artists come in to do the art. Simplified Anatomy for comic book artists. I love that book. I own that book. It was one of the first books I actually bought for drawing. It's a really good book. I even did, I think, a review on it or a showcase of it. But yeah, he does on Skillshare. He does on Curious.com, which I'm also a member of, and I shamefully don't actually promote my Curious that much because I like Skillshare more. But he also does YouTube. Like, man is a master at just taking his little thoughts and ideas. And Skillshare actually changed recently so that you can do smaller classes. So you don't have to do the big classes like I had to do. Like I had to do a freaking 2-hour class. So now you can do kind of more compact, more concise classes on more specific topics. Like mine was, I had 2 of them. How to make a start to finish, how to make a 4-page mini comic, which also teaches you how to make a comic book in general. And then I did a intro to manga studio, like some basics. And those are my 2 videos. I need to make some more. I think I'm going to do some like music video, like how to play guitar or something, and then do a couple more drawing videos since I can do shorter classes now. But yeah, it's a great platform. Check it out. Look at the ones that are like classes that are already there. Check out some of the free ones that you can look at just as a free member. Premium, I think it's $10 a month for premium membership. So if that's something you want to get into, you can get into. I think it's worth the money because the classes there are actually really good quality.
Is there any sort of what is it, like, I guess it might be an affiliate program, like if you sign up a friend to it to make videos for there?
There is I believe there is, because I know that with my classes, if I share my personal like promotion link and people sign up using that link, I get $10 for every person who's signed up for premium, because it's also gives people premium membership for like 3 months for 99 cents a month. So it's pretty nice.
Sure.
That's the link I keep sharing. Anytime you see me share my how to make a mini comic or intro to manga studio that comes from Skillshare, that's what that link is. So if you do want to go use that link, because you'll get it for like 99 cents a month if you want premium.
Right.
Cool.
But yeah,
there's plenty of sites that some of them are school-based sites where you can make classes for, or some are just like, you make random stuff and it's all over the place.
Yeah, even Curious.com does something similar. Although I prefer Skillshare. I actually like Skillshare a lot.
But like, just getting back to like promoting, specifically like promoting your YouTube videos.
Yeah, with that kind of thing, I definitely think that it's a good idea to definitely try to get your promotion out. And the cool thing is, because of the way YouTube works, you can look at your analytics and see who's watching your videos, specifically what states are watching your videos. That's going to tell you when you should promote. Because if you're in, like me, in Delaware, but most of my views come from, let's say, California, I need to upload and I need to promote at times of the day that fit with California time. Which is why I usually post. I try to make it so my videos come out around noontime, because that's like early morning for them, so they're probably just getting up and checking stuff.
Yeah, that's how it works for for a lot of social network stuff. Is like you want to post. There's a couple of sweet spots, and one of them is first in the morning, so that people are checking stuff before they go to work or on their way to work. And then the other one is kind of like in that dead zone, I'm bored at work times, which is usually, that sort of lunch and post-lunch kind of thing. And then the other big one is, after dinner, but before people get sucked into TV times, and those are these different times. But I think the prime one is absolutely it's first of the day, because people are gonna make their decisions about what media they consume through the rest of the day at that critical moment.
But then, people have different schedules. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that work nighttime, and for us is the end of the day for them.
Yeah, the only thing is that in general, I mean, you have to kind of pick you can't pick your lowest, you have to pick your highest common denominator, and that's the thing, because the people who work those odd shifts and odder kind of, and I'm not saying odd as in a pejorative, but rather just, not the usual. Those folks are used to seeking out stuff, and then search terminology always will find them that stuff. And if they're already subscribed to you, naturally, then also they will, they're going to find that stuff. I mean, this is all hypothetical to me, but I do, read a lot about it. And the kind of thing that Eric's talking about just is something that I've heard a few times. It's like you got to know who your audience is geographically, because you need to know how to strategically hit them while everything else is hitting them.
Yeah.
According to what time zone they're in. It just makes a lot of difference to it.
And that's why it's good to kind of keep an eye on your analytics and checking where your bigger viewer base comes from.
Right. Yeah.
Updating and tweaking your links and posts. I know, like, I looked back at older videos, and the numbers have gone up since like the last couple of times I've looked at them. This is like, who knows, like, how people are still getting to them, other than maybe just going through my backlog of videos. Because mostly I'm promoting new stuff, but occasionally I throw out something old and promote it if I thought it was something of value to someone. I went back specifically and noted that the first episode of Studio Synergy was actually November 6th, 4 years ago. So, I haven't been doing it consistently, but I started it that far ago, and it's combined with everything else I've done, and I mentioned all this recently, like the radio show I was a part of, Independent Road podcast that I've done for quite some time, and maybe getting back to do Synergy, of course, and my Independent Crossroads, which is my sort of YouTube version of Independent Road. And it's like all stuff I want to continue with and build on, as well as like my creator-owned Facebook group, which there's also one on Google Plus, but that's not nearly as exciting. I want to build that into more of a network to where I'm doing more than just posting in the group itself. So there'll be YouTube videos and maybe gatherings as well with that specific group.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do like comic reviews and spotlights. Because it's all about like getting the word out on what other people are doing, like that don't have the audience, or maybe my audience is completely different than theirs, and bringing it to a new audience. That I've been trying to do all my career in one way or another, and all this is a part of that. Like bringing you guys on here, it's like, I'm sure like a lot of my friends didn't know about you guys specifically, or maybe, like past episodes with other people on it, that everybody runs in different circles, and this is just bringing light to you, to new people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
But as far as like, to get back to like promote videos, and I spoke about this before, but there's Facebook, and there's Facebook groups. There's like hundreds and hundreds of comic related or art related or YouTube video related groups on Facebook alone. It's by far the biggest place to promote anything. In my opinion, it's like, only because I haven't gathered the YouTube. Still working on it, but but
we're always still working on it.
Yeah, it's always a work in progress. Twitter does me good, and I promote almost everything via Twitter. I could use it more effectively. One of the things I want to do more is more like videos on Facebook and videos on Twitter. Like condensed, like just shortly promoting certain things, and like see how that works. Because with live streaming on Facebook, that's done a lot of good for a number of people, and I plan to get into that a lot more. I just sort of played around here and there so far, but I mean, some people's careers are just that, just live streaming on Facebook, making new videos and posting them on Facebook. And it's like, I love YouTube. I love the structure of YouTube. I love how you can promote it out and get interest elsewhere, and have people come over to it. I'm sticking with YouTube regardless of how well everything else is doing. Like I promote videos on YouTube via all the options they give you. It's like, there's the share button, and you could do Pinterest, Twitter, Google Plus, Tumblr, even LinkedIn, your blog, which I still have a blog. which has mostly been sharing. You can promote it, of course, to Facebook. Reddit, that's, nothing I'm comfortable with over there. This is some Russian site, I don't know. Stumble upon, I played with that in the past. It's kind of cool, but it's more work. I don't know.
Well, Stumble Upon is Stumble Upon's pretty old.
Yeah.
And it has, it's kind of like I wouldn't say it's like the Well. It's definitely, more vivid than the Well, but it's a old community that does its business there, and so it's sort of like if you want to reach those kind of people, then you want to go there, right? But it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with anything. It's not going to be critical to a particular outreach in general.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
I think
I
yeah.
just I have promoted things through it in a small way and have gotten results.
Right.
But yeah, unless I incorporate it more on a continuous basis, there's really no plans for me to use it at all. So
Reddit. The thing about Reddit is that Reddit's really not any mystery. It's just another community that likes to do its communication in the aesthetic of Reddit. That's all. Because the thing about any of these communities is that the reason why Facebook looks different from Twitter and Twitter operates differently than Tumblr and all that stuff is just because different people like to interface with social networking in general in different ways, right? Tumblr's for pictorial, like basically for visually oriented people, which is not to say that you can't put pictures or words in any of those forms, right? But it just is the case that by the sedimentary nature of how communities form, it's just like obviously the text heavy people go to Reddit, and people who want to actually kind of pile on top of each other's commentary go to Reddit, and the people who want to stand alone in their commentary or have, I think, more short and maybe even either polite or venomous confrontation or exchange, they're on Twitter, right? And then Stumble Upon is definitely researchy kind of people who get off on research and longer sort of exposition. And then Facebook is more like, hey, how's it going? Right? It's kind of a jumble, and it's sort of like TV, and it's a little also like hanging out with people at the coffee shop a little bit. And then, whatever. So, I think it's more, but in the end, all they really are doing is socially networking. And it's just what's the visual filter? What's the interface that works for your brain better than it would with other things? Yeah. And then they plunge in. And that's why all of them have deep, levels of interest. But it's just, and then it's a numbers game, right? After that, YouTube, right? YouTube is just a social network, but it happens to be that people really prefer to network via video. So yeah, I just sort of, the other thing that's been helping a hell of a lot, and I'm not shelling because I'm not getting freebies, I'm telling you right now, but that the guest that you had on, Isaac, of Isaac Teaches, and he's got his whole Patreon. He's hooked in with doing the social for Coffee Table Comics.
Yep.
I've watched most of the stuff that I now have available to me because I joined the $5. It's amazing. For $5 a month, I just learned a lot of. I learned a lot of stuff, and I had a lot of stuff confirmed, and it was really and a lot of energizing. And I did this 3-hour interview with him that I've got to edit and put up on YouTube as soon as I can.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was a terrific exchange. My webcam and my camera was okay, but my audio went out of sync immediately, which is this whole other thing, and I'm not going to ruin your topic with tech talk. So, but I may end up asking Eric and you some questions offline at another occasion about this stuff. But Yeah, but it was a really great conversation, and what I consider to be my first really successful interview. And but anyway, he just because that's all his job. That's what he did. He worked for Facebook. He did concierge. The concierge experience work there, and worked at Zappos and worked at these places. I mean, he just understands it and is able to communicate the concepts really, really clearly in short bursts. So it's like, I would say like that might be anybody's first bet if you want to like clear the static about some of the stuff, is to just like join that Patreon, just start ramming on the videos, because he doesn't get into like stumble upon versus Twitter or something, but he's just like, it's really more about just like clarifying message, figuring out what you want to do, going for that thing, blah, 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 and then that's it. Like, it's just, obviously he's open, email, whatever you say, like, hey, what about this, what about that? He'll reply if he can. But, like, at least his core messages are sort of template and just deal with the, the essential issues. And I think you might find that it was really kind of, for me, a flashlight in the murkiness of it a bit, So.
Yeah. It is about more like, how you post and what you're posting and your story and your journey. And we've had discussions with Isaac.
Yeah.
He's incredibly smart and has gathered a lot of useful knowledge and definitely, go play through his page. I'm just giving you sort of a superficial overview today, but I do have to get going soon. So I don't want to get too deep into a better conversation.
Existential topic,
But let's just wrap it up. If you have any last thoughts you want to add to today's episode, or you just want to give links, I'll let Eric go first.
I guess link-wise, you can find me on YouTube at just look up Eric Fares. You can find me on Facebook, look up Art of Eric Fares. If you try to friend me on my personal one, you will be denied. If I don't know you, you don't get added. I have a Patreon, same thing, Eric Fares. Tumblr, I think Twitter even is Eric Fares. So yeah, just look at my name. You should be able to find me. I do product reviews lately. I also will eventually get back into doing tutorials on probably music as well as art, just because I'm both a musician and an artist. So, that'd be the easiest way to find me, is just look up my name. My last name is spelled Faries.
Cool. And Greg?
So you can find me pretty much anywhere on the web as Flameape, Flameape. My name's Greg Giordano. I'm not the other Greg Giordano who's famous for doing paintings of wildlife and fluffy cats on plates and stuff. That's not a joke. That's for reality. I have to, but I'm not that Greg Giordano. I'm Gregory C. Giordano, and I'm also known as Flameape. My website's flameape.org. My comic that's in progress with new pages posting next week for Chapter 2, Holiday Mountain Madness, is at holiday2lscomic.com. And we also have a Facebook page, Holiday Mountain Madness on Facebook, which is a really core fan place. And also my art can also be seen on Flameape, the art of Gregory Giordano, on Facebook as well. But I'm on Twitter and other places.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sensei.
And I am Peter Palmiotti, and you obviously know where I am. Become a patron if you haven't already. My $5 level, I have no idea what I offer, but I need to do a lot of work online, and like I said earlier, this month has been one earthquake after another, kind of sort of things going on. So getting focused again, and I'll be more consistent, and I'll be updating a lot of things online so that within a week or two, the bigger, clearer picture will be seen. Mostly, you could expect a lot more new art and videos, and yeah, a lot more fun, a lot more synergy coming up too. So thanks for joining. Like, comment. If you want to see anything or have us talk about anything specific, please leave it in the comment below. And I'll see you again. I believe the next one is Thursday evening, perhaps.
Yeah, no more
And
this morning crap.
Yeah, the live event links are posted on my YouTube page. I got to actually update that as well. So look forward to more soon. Thank you all for joining. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you.